actually understand the gospel until recently. They've been in church for years and they still didn't understand the gospel. And so it's our responsibility to go out and to reach those people with the gospel. And we covered Acts chapter 19, verses 8 to 10. Does someone want to read that? Acts 19, 8 to 10. And then the other one which I'll get look up next is 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 2. 2 to 2. Acts chapter 19, verses 8 to 10.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah, go for it. Oh.
And he went into the synagogue and spoke boldly for 3 months, reasoning and persuading concerning the things of the kingdom of God. But when some were hardened and did not believe, but spoke evil of the way before the multitude, he departed from them and withdrew the disciples, reasoning daily in the school of Tyrannus. And this continued for 2 years, so that all who dwelt in Asia heard the word of the Lord Jesus, both Jews and Greeks.
And so they're kicked out of the synagogue, and from there they, I don't know, they hired a hall like this or something like that, and then they focused on training and sending people out. And within 2 years, they were able to reach everyone in Asia. Now that doesn't mean everyone, and that's Asia Minor, the Roman part of Asia at the time. Doesn't mean that everyone repented and believed in the area, but it means everyone got to hear the gospel. Everyone heard and understood and accepted or rejected the gospel. And we're talking about millions of people. And so, and back then there's no cars, bigger distances than 50 kilometres. So it was actually a harder task in many ways than what we've got today, reaching Brisbane. And so how did they reach them? I'm going to suggest we can see this model in 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 2, if someone wants to read that. Yep.
And the things that you have heard from me among many witnesses, commit these to faithful men who will be able to teach others also.
So, in there we've got Paul, who's writing to Timothy, and he's telling Timothy that I want you to teach the elders, is that right? Yep, the elders. So there's more than one elders, to teach other capable people. And so here we've got Paul who's training Timothy, like giving him one-on-one attention. He's writing a letter to him, and he's telling him, I want you to appoint elders, I want you to train people, and I want those people to train others. And so we can see here, it's not Paul drawing people to himself, or he's not even asking Timothy to draw people to himself, but he's telling Timothy, he's training Timothy to train the elders, to train others. And if we continue that, and Timothy's doing the same thing as Paul is doing, well then then Timothy will be telling the elders to train these people to train others. And these elders, because they've learned from Timothy to do that, they're saying, well, I want you to reach, they're training the others to train others to train others. And as you can see, it's exploding outwardly, if that makes sense. And the thing is, this person over here probably never meets Paul. May not even know who he is. He might be in a different part of Asia Minor. But he knows this person. He's got a relationship with this person, he's built trust, and this person's been able to train him. And so it starts off small, but then it gets bigger. And just for fun, and Paul's not just training Timothy. So Paul might train Timothy this month, and the next month he might train Apollos, and he's telling Apollos to train elders. And so basically, so if Paul was to train one person a month, and then Timothy, so month one we've got one person, which is Timothy. Month two we've got Paul and Timothy are both training people. So then you've got, so month one you've got 2 people, month 2 you've got 4 people, month 3 you've got 8 people, month 4 you've got 16 people. Just as a mathematical exercise, pull out your calculator and we'll see how long, using this, it might take to reach all of Asia Minor. So you go 2 times 2, and then you just keep pressing enter. And so who's good on the calculator? I think Nick's probably good at this stuff thing. English.
Not so much maths.
Okay.
Well, it keeps doubling, 16 times 16, and then that goes to
32.
no, because that's just
64.
then 64, then
28.
128.
and then just sort of doubles.
256.
256.
Barry's the numbers guy.
512. 2096. 2048. What was the next?
4,096.
4,096.
And that's just doubling.
I'll just go to the thousands now. 8K. Yep. And then again.
16,000.
16K.
16K, 32K,
32K.
128,
Yeah, just
256,
it's the same numbers coming up all the time. 128,
1 million,
256.
24.
All in thousands.
Keep going.
Oh, that's a million. Okay.
Sorry, that's a million. And then you've got 2 point, what's that? 4 million. So that would be, if they did that every month for, let's count the amount of months, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 months, so 1.5 years, potentially they've reached all of Asia Minor. Maybe
That's
it's not.
just 2 people.
That's just 2 people.
That's
There's
doubling.
more.
That's not Paul
Just starting.
discipling other
Yeah,
people like Timothy.
That's right. Yeah. You're only talking about 2 people.
I'm just talking about 2 people,
Yeah.
but I'm saying like,
Yes, huge.
it's possible.
So the question is, like, what's it going to take? What's it going to take for us here in this room? Are we willing to sacrifice our life to reach, our cities and those around us? Because there is a cost involved. This is not just something came out of our thin air, and we read in the Word, and I think that's what Jeremy's going towards. Like, what is it going to take for us to do the work?
Yeah. And if we use Jesus as our model, and so what did Jesus do for us? He died so that we all might be saved, so that we might all receive, believe, and be saved and live with Him for all eternity. Greater love has no man than this, and that He laid down His life for His friends. That's the example we have from Jesus. And so if we follow that example, then we need to be willing to lay down our lives for our friends. We need to be willing to give up that Netflix session, or going to the beach that day, because we've got people around us that need to hear the gospel, or maybe they've heard the gospel and they need discipling, they need to grow, they need to be fed. And so what's it going to take? We're going to need to die to ourselves. It's not, it's not the standard model where we just show up to the building and we spectate and we help out when it's convenient for us. It's us laying down our lives, saying, whatever it takes, Lord, I'm going to do it. And that's what Paul did. He was willing to be beaten and killed eventually. And as was Timothy, as was Barnabas, Apollos, all of his disciples, and the other disciples of Jesus, they are all willing to lay down their life for the cause.
Yeah.
And so that's the call on every disciple. We're not Christians, we're not just Christians, we're disciples. We're living out the example that Jesus gave us. So that's brutal facts, and that's where we're at.